Hey guys, welcome to the first lesson in the Overwhelm, Burnout, and Busyness module. In this lesson, we are going to go over overwhelm, burnout, and busyness. We're going to define them, and I think you're going to have a better idea of what these things really are and how they're affecting your ability to create new results in the future. I want to start with defining overwhelm. Overwhelm is defined as having a strong emotional effect on. I love this definition because it shows you almost immediately that it's in your head. And it is in your head. So overwhelm pretends to be necessary and have a purpose, but it's not. It is not caused by what's going on in your life. And I know that if you're someone who feels overwhelmed a lot, you are going to fight me on this, but I want you to be open to this idea that overwhelm is really just caused in your head and it's not caused with what's going on in your life. Everyone has a ton of things going on in their lives. Everyone. I promise you. No one is just like, oh my gosh, I have nothing going on. Like, I need more in my life. No one. We have a ton of things going on. The thing is, some people just manage it better than others. Overwhelm is caused by your thinking about what's going on in your life. So overwhelm doesn't happen to you. It's something you create in your head. And this is actually really good news because it means that you can get out of overwhelm pretty easily, which we'll talk about in another lesson. Your brain goes into overwhelm when it has so many new things going on and in your life, and then things just don't go to plan. So in the modern world that we live in, this is basically all the time. It's the first time in history where our brain is having to make so many decisions and we just can't handle it, so we go into overwhelm. So you have to learn how to manage your mind. And I mean, no one teaches us this stuff. Like, when I first learned this, my mind just like exploded. I'm like, why don't they have a course on this? You know, it's crazy how useful this is. Let's say you're married. I want to go into an example real quick. You're married and you have 2 kids. You're in debt. Your car just broke down. Your husband didn't get a promotion. You can't get your kids into the school you want them to go to. Your own business isn't taking off. Things just keep not going according to plan. All of these things are just facts. Okay? Your brain goes into overwhelm when it's presented with these new facts that it didn't anticipate because it's scary and it's unknown and you wanted it to go one way. So it feels overwhelming, but you have to separate out the actual facts and the new circumstances in your life with all of your thoughts about it. And that is the key to everything. Seriously. All right. Burnout. Let's jump into burnout. Burnout is defined as physical or mental collapse caused by overwork or stress. I love the word over in this definition, okay? Burnout is caused by your attitude behind the work you're doing. It's when you overwork and get stressed. It's caused by poor planning, stressful thinking, and scarcity thinking. It is not caused by working hard or long. It happens when you try to escape your feelings, and it happens when you think that the future moment is going to be better than the current moment. You can work many, many long and hard hours if you're fueled by the right energy. And I want to stop here for a minute and give you an example for me because I cannot express to you how much I hear I'm going to get burned out from other people. But what they're really doing is saying, based on their own lives and their experience, that if they worked as hard and long as I did, they would get burned out. And that's why I just ignore them because it's not true. I am fueled by totally different energy. I'm not fueled by this like hustle, fighting, I got to make it like negative energy. Like, I'm not anxious about my work. I feel like totally in flow. I've planned everything out. I don't feel stressed. And I feel like opportunity is everywhere. I feel like I'm going to make a lot of money. I have a really good mindset. So there's no scarcity thinking. And until you get here, it's gonna be hard for you to understand how to not be burned out by working hard and long. But that should be your goal because then it doesn't matter how hard or how long you work. You're coming from the right mindset, you're not stressed, and you've planned appropriately. So let's take a burnout example. Let's say you have a presentation to give to your entire company. Instead of planning it out on your schedule, like 30 minutes every day or whatever, you decide to put it off and you work on it the week before it's due, and you have to work nonstop around the clock to get it done, and you become super stressed and you aren't sure how you're going to continue working like this. This could have been avoided. by proper planning and a better mindset. All right, let's go into busyness. Busyness is defined as the state of having a lot of activity. You work busily to the point of crazy. You are always rushing and stressed. That is a sign of busyness. When you're busy, you feel like you have too much to do. You don't have time to think and get organized. Being busy has nothing to do with your to-do list. I want you to know this. We all have a bajillion things we want to get done. We all have full lives. We all are just doing our best. Some of us feel busy, others don't. You want to be one of the people who doesn't feel busy, right? I am telling you, it has to do with how many thoughts you have going on in your brain. So you have to make sure you plan appropriately. You work for 10 hours a day without a break except for lunch. Let's talk about a busyness example here. After work, you have things scheduled for whether it's professional events, activities for your kids or errands to run. You always feel like you're behind and you're late a lot and you feel like your world is just so busy and it's never going to slow down. And I want you to know that it's not. There is no future where you don't feel busy. So the problem is in your head. You have to learn how to organize your mind because an organized mind is what creates an organized life. Okay? Really, that's the truth. You have to create more space in your life, and we'll get to that in the planning section. So most people live in this state of overwhelm, burnout, and busyness, but you don't have to live like this. You really don't. If this is something that you struggle with, I really want you to take these lessons seriously and try to put them into practice because the benefit is just freedom. It is complete freedom in your mind and so much more joy and happiness. If you don't, you're going to stay stuck in overwhelm, burnout, and busy. But if you do, if you use these tools that I'm giving you and you get out of it, your life is not only going to be happier, but you're going to have increased productivity, you're going to have more results and more success, and you'll just be more satisfied. But you have to learn to manage your mind and your emotions and get out of this overwhelm, burnout, and busyness space. What's really going on is that your brain is just trying to protect you. It doesn't like anything happening. So just think about that. Your brain is just always trying to keep you alive, and that's how we've evolved as humans to get to this place. But the problem is that in the modern world, there is always stuff going on. We're always moving. Things are always changing and always happening. So you have to learn to recognize when your primitive brain is just trying to protect you and that it's how, not useful it is. When you haven't learned how to manage your brain, you're gonna fall into these feelings immediately. The same exact situation causing you to feel this way would not cause someone else to feel that way. Remember that, okay? So if you're falling into that, I want you to practice. And it's not your fault. It's just your mismanaged brain. No one has taught you this. We don't learn this. And it's amazing to me because it's just part of the skills to get through life and really to lead an extraordinary life. So you're going to have problems in life, I guarantee it. We already know this. You know this. You've had problems up to this point, and you'll continue to have problems. But if you want to pursue an extraordinary life where you're designing your dream life, you have to learn how to manage your mind and emotions. And part of this is, getting out of overwhelm, burnout, and busyness. And when you do that, you are going to have so much freedom in your life. And that's when you can create your dream life, including all the happiness and success that you want. And we will talk about exactly how to get out of overwhelm, burnout, and busyness in the lessons following this one. I'll see you there.